everybody, Mark here again at Exotic Car Play Place. And today I want to talk about 5 of the things that make the early Lamborghini Gallardo obsolete, old tech, or out of date, if you will. So, here we are, starting with number 1. First thing is a 6-speed transmission. Everybody knows today, every car just about has more options than just that 6-speed transmission. 6-speed was great in the 2000s. You know, you started with a 4-speed in the 70s and 80s, then you moved up to the 5-speed in the kind of 80s and 90s, and now they moved up to the 6-speed kind of 90s and the 2000s. Well, that being said, things have changed in the last few years. Now you're seeing cars with 7-speed transmissions, 8-speed, and even 9-speed transmissions. So that really does yield this sort of old tech. Now, is it the end of the world? No, 6-speed's still a lot of fun. You still get the zing through the gears, but it doesn't always leave you in the sweet spot. It doesn't always leave you in the power band. You're always searching and revving the engine. If you've got more gears, yeah, you're shifting more, but you're always likely in the power band. You're also likely going to yield a better fuel mileage with it. So there is an advantage to that, and that is one thing, the first thing that I note as old tech on the Lamborghini Gallardo. So number 2 thing that makes these cars obsolete, and when I may see these cars, I really refer to the 2004, 2005 Lamborghini Gallardos. And on this particular topic, a lot of these topics I'm talking about are all encompassing for all the models of the Gallardo. This next point is the tape deck. This really ended in 2004 and 2005. As soon as they went to the 06, they changed it up a little bit. But what were they thinking? The 2005 here that I'm sitting in here still has a tape cassette deck. So it actually has a CD player and a cassette deck, which is really back to the dinosaurs. So I don't want to kind of put it down. I know they were transitioning, and I know tapes were kind of on the cusp, and they were moving out in the early 2000s. That doesn't change the fact that it really is kind of gross even to look at. It has a tape deck. So old tech. You don't see anything even remotely looking like a tape cassette deck in anything new today. So the third thing that I want to note on these Gallardos that are kind of old school and old tech, if you will. Again, not the end of the world. Don't hate the car for it, but it is a sign that the car is slightly dated. And that's the fact that there's no LED lights, no LED taillights, no LED headlights. I know if you look at a lot of the forums, a lot of the people out there are actually going to a retrofit because the LEDs are the modern technology. Guys now are actually retrofitting headlights, guys are retrofitting taillights, guys are retrofitting interior lights, guys are retrofitting even the license plate lights on these Lambos with LEDs just because it's a more modern look. LEDs provide definitely a sharper look, they're crisper, they're the newer technology. They do provide a unique light that really is a little more appealing by today's standards. It's sharper, it's brighter, and not only that, it's actually a lower power consumption, so it's less drag and draw on your system. So that's the third thing that shows the dated age of these early Gallardos. So the fourth item that really does date these Lamborghini Gallardos are what? The modern conveniences. Modern conveniences like this car did not even have a sunroof as an option when it came out. It did not have auxiliary inputs as an option. You could not connect to it Bluetooth. It really did not have any of that modern electronic kind of dial-in, connect-up-to technology that you can find even in a simple little Ford Escort today. So again, I just want to summarize, lacking in technology. Again, not the end of the world because really you're getting behind the wheel to drive the car and really enjoy it for that. But it's just a signature as to the date of these cars. So number 5 reason that these cars are showing their age. And that would be the E-gear transmission. And I know I've talked about this in previous videos of mine. And you can certainly refer to those at any point. I have a lot of videos here to watch. But that being said, it is the single clutch transmission that you'll find in these cars, called i.e. the E-gear transmission. Now anybody who knows these cars or owns these cars can appreciate what I'm talking about, and those maybe that don't will learn the fact that these are a single clutch transmission, very similar to what you'll find in the BMW E60 M5s where they use the single clutch SMG transmission. They serve the purpose. They're an automated manual. They do function just like a modern twin clutch, But because it's a larger single clutch, they're more robust. However, they pick up speed slower. They shift slower because of just the general construction of it. They shift slower, they accelerate slower off the start. And because of that, it really does feel a little bit more aged. When you're engaging first gear, you'll find these cars feel a little sluggish and sloppy. The 04s and 05s are really bad for that. They slowly got better with age, but nonetheless, they never really got that great. They were never that great of a transmission to begin with, and they really do feel old and dated. So until you really move into the Huracan, you really do have to manage a single clutch sloppy transmission, which is old tech. Every car today runs a twin clutch transmission. Even sloppy generic cars are running twin clutch transmissions. So again, I hope that helps everybody. I just want to summarize 5 of the items that really in my mind obsolete these cars a little bit. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. They're still a blast to drive. They sound awesome. They go well. And they attract a lot of attention. They're actually relatively reliable too for a supercar. So there's nothing to hate about these cars. This is not a hate video. This is simply describing those things that in my mind are slightly old tech, old obsolete technology that you'll find in this car. And I just wanted to share that with you folks. If you're looking at buying one, or maybe you are currently an owner, if you agree. And if you agree, that's great. If you don't agree, hey, let's listen to your comments. If you want to have some input here, if you have any comments regarding this, please share them below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think about these cars, and if you agree with them being sort of old tech already. Again, I don't want to suggest old tech as being garbage. It's certainly not. These cars are awesome. But again, I do want to compare it to the likes of, say, the Diablo, where they were old technology, hand-built, but they were a little sloppy in a lot of ways. Even the headlights were from a Nissan 300 ZX, believe it or not. The Porsche 930 is another example. Old tech, didn't have any plug-ins. It didn't have ABS or traction control. It didn't have all-wheel drive. It was just a good old-fashioned 4-speed transmission and a big turbo engine behind it pushing it along. So there's nothing wrong with that, and to be quite frank, those old tech cars are coming back in anyway. So it's not all bad, but I just thought I'd share with you what the old tech and the reasons I feel that these cars are slightly obsolete. So please subscribe, like, comment again, and I'd love to hear from you. Good, bad, or indifferent. Let me know what you think about the video, and please let me know if you want to see anything new. If there's anything you'd like me to share with you with the Lamborghini, I'd certainly do my best to try to share that with you in coming days and weeks. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.